What is going on? My name's Braden, I run Custom House, and behind me we have the newest project of the Custom House channel, my 1998 Toyota Hilux. I've had this car for a few years now. It was my daily, and as everything goes, turned into another project. So we started out by putting a parallel 4-link in the car from Carl's main rod shop. It's got a 40 litre fuel cell, pan hard rod, and an LSD diff center. And we also went and put Viking coilovers in it to make it handle pretty well and hopefully good on the street. We also went and picked up some 2-piece TR7 work wheels, which are my favourite work wheel ever made, and these have a generous amount of dish on them, which caused another problem. So with the wheels being so wide, unfortunately they didn't fit under the stock guards of the Hilux, which has brought on what I think is probably the coolest part of this car. You can kind of see the gaps of the guards aren't quite right. So we had two options: narrow the diff to make the wheels fit under the stock guards, or go nuts and put a wide body on the car, which is what we've decided to do. So the original plan was to turbo the 3RZ that comes stock in the Hilux, but Marketplace got me, and now I thought, what extra is a quick engine swap, which is what today's episode's about. And that quick Marketplace scroll led me to this. 1JZ, non-VVTi, big Garrett turbo, and just at a price that was too good to pass up. Now with the original plan being to run the stock W56 out of the Hilux behind this, we kind of come to the realisation that this turbo is going to be in disagreement to that. So the thoughts came to what gearbox should be run behind it. We have R154, W58, or the V160, but they're just way out of the budget. But with the hope of one day doing drag and drives in the car, that led me to think a little bit bigger. Instead of a 5-speed, what can we go to the 6-speed? Sequential is obviously the dream, but we don't have $30,000 to spend on a gearbox setup. And that led me to this, Tremec TR6060 6-speed. But with this, and having the 6-speed, leaves us with two problems. Problem one, how do we make the 6-speed to the back of the 1JZ? Problem two, how do we mount it all in the Hilux? Let me show you. Luckily for us, Castle Main Rod Shop in Australia make this. Cast aluminium bell housing that bolts straight to the TR6060 and into the back of the 1JZ. Problem two, we've got a gearbox mounted to the back of the 1JZ. Second problem is, how do we mount it all in the car? Luckily for us, a company by the name of Sunday Speed Co. makes universal mounts to bolt to the JZ, run through these bushes, and then give you other tabs to mount directly to your chassis or whatever you're trying to do the swap into. One thing I love using a conversion bell housing over a conversion plate is that there's one less place for bolts to come loose. This bell housing uses the factory hardware from the Tremec and bolts straight up like it's meant to be. one perk of building a ute like this compared to a Silvia or any other unibody car is that we can just lift the cab off. It makes it easy to mount the gearbox, engine, go straight in the top. You don't need to try and tackle the front of the car all the time. So, I'm not going to bore you with the process. Let's get the 3RZ out, get the cab off, start doing cool 1J things. Righto, we're back. And as you can see, we're missing a few parts. Taking out our 3RZ, taking off our cab, and now it's time to clean up a few bits and pieces and get ready to put the 1JZ in the Hilux chassis. So now that we're using the TR6060, we no longer need a W56 mount, but we're going to keep our custom crossmember because it's already designed for ground clearance. We also no longer need our stock 3RZ engine mounts, so they're going to get cut out and in the bin. One JZ's in, mocked up. It's time to make some engine mounts, and then we've got to make a gearbox crossmember, which unfortunately didn't end up in the spot I wanted it to. But these things happen, and it's nothing we haven't made before. So let's get to it. TR6060 and the 1J tacked into the chassis. Super excited because it's a big part of the build. We've used a stock gearbox mount out of the VE Commodore, removable center section to make it easy to drop the engine and gearbox out, because when the cab's on top of it, obviously you can't get it out. We have the original cross member for the center bearing, because the 3RZ gearbox finished way back up here, which is perfect now because it should be close enough that we can use it for a tail shaft loop. Obviously, if we ever have an issue with the tail shaft, we don't want it going through the cab because I'll be sitting right here. We also have our Sunday Speedco mounts all tacked together. So now, pull the 1JZ out, get everything welded up, and it's good to go. We can start doing exhaust stuff before we cut the cab to pieces and put it back on top.